Hi, welcome to another video. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Kim and I'm currently backpacking Australia. I've been in Australia for about 7 weeks, just under 7 weeks. So I thought I kind of owed everyone a little bit of an explanation. I've been like umming and ahhing about how to kind of go about it because I've kind of been like battling a lot of different emotions, I guess. Like, I'm so proud of everything that I've done so far. Unfortunately, this trip does have to come to an end. I had to make the decision like a week ago, and basically, first of all, I got some really bad sunburn, which you would have seen if you've been following along, and that was kind of the point where I was like, shit, basically. Like, I knew that the sun is ridiculous out here. It's a whole new level, and you hear it back home and you think, oh, it can't be that bad or whatever, but I kind of did actually take that advice, you know. And I have been doing nothing but sun creaming and reapplying it constantly throughout the day, and I've still burnt because as you can tell I have really fair skin, and I don't know if you can tell, but my forehead is bright red too. So the burn was originally just on my shins. One of them was really painful, so my right shin was very painful, and my left it wasn't painful, but it was still badly burnt. I now have burn all my back, my whole back, and all the back of my legs. So first of all, when I went to Brisbane, I still had this burn, and I was supposed to do the Moreton Island trip, which I did go on. I did go, but when I was there, I couldn't do any of the activities. So the sandboarding I chose to sit out, one because I'd already done it, and then obviously because of my burn, I didn't want to get sand all in it because it was a very deep wound, and I didn't want to get sand in it, and also scrubbing sand off of your body is not the easiest task, and that's going to really hurt my burn. So I decided to sit that one out. At this point, it was like I had bandaged the burn up a little bit. I'd been putting aloe vera on every day, and it still wasn't kind of budging. And I spoke to the instructors that were on Moreton Island. So I was supposed to do the snorkeling and the sea kayaking, and I said, look, what are your kind of thoughts? Like, should I be doing this? Because, you know, I've heard different things, like seawater can be really healing, but I've also heard that it's gonna hurt me like a lot, and it can actually make a burn worse if it's so deep. And they said it's kind of your choice. And I said, okay, so do I have to wear a wetsuit? And they said, yeah, for the snorkeling I do, just because there are a lot of sharp things on Moreton Island with the shipwreck, so you have to wear a wetsuit for that. And I said, well, I don't really fancy dragging a really tight wetsuit all the way up this fresh wound. That's gonna hurt. The seawater is then gonna hurt. So I made the decision to sit it all out. I was very disappointed that I couldn't do everything, you know. So then we fast forward a little bit, and I'm tired. I'm so tired, and I was just, I'd go out and I'd still do all the tours I had planned, and you know, things like that, and I just wasn't enjoying it as much as I knew I could. And I think it was because, you know, I had to take care of my burn constantly. I think because I've been doing so much the last few weeks, yeah, I was just burnt out. Basically, I reached my limit, and I think I did reach my limit back in Byron Bay when I was at the Arts Factory hostel, and my allergies were really bad. So yeah, that was basically it. And I know a lot of people are like, well, you could just stay away from the sun, like stay inside for a few days, it will heal, and you know, you could carry on. And I was like, yeah, I could, but I still feel burnt out. I did that, like I booked private rooms, I stayed in a private room and chilled out for a whole day. The other day I didn't leave my bed for the whole day. Like, I stayed, literally didn't leave the hostel. I went to reception when I got my food delivered. Like, so I've tried, and it's just not really working. So I think I have just reached my limit, and I just decided that the best thing for me was to go home and then come back and finish the tour. I am really disappointed because obviously I've missed the big things. I've missed Fraser Island, I will miss the Whitsundays, and so forth. I miss everything from Noosa to Cairns. So anyway, let's skip to where I kind of am now. So I got a flight today from Brisbane. So I was originally in Noosa, that's the last video you would have seen. From Noosa I took the Greyhound bus back down to Brisbane, I then got a flight today, really freaking early in the morning, may I add, to Darwin. So because my original flight was from Darwin, that was my return flight home because that's where I finished my trip. So I fly back from there. And so I rescheduled the flight, but I could only reschedule it from Darwin. I have no idea if I did it right. To be honest, I don't mind because I have something really exciting to tell you. We're not quite done yet. I couldn't just up and leave without doing one final thing, knowing that it's my final thing. So I flew to Darwin, and I was like, the only reason I've come to Darwin, because a lot of backpackers, I think, tend to just stick to the coast. So they kind of make their way up or down, starting or ending in Cairns. And not a lot of people go to Darwin. And actually, when I spoke to the travel agents and I said I want to go to Darwin, that's where I want to finish my tour, they were like, why are you going there? And I was like, man, you haven't seen this thing that I can do in Darwin, and I'm going to tell you about it in a minute. So I had to fly to Darwin to get my flight back home, and I had one day today, so I literally landed here like an hour ago. And I had one day and I was like, right, let me see if this tour is available, because this was the one thing that I was, you know, when I kind of looked at everything I had to do and was kind of deciding whether or not I should go home and, you know, all that. This was the one thing that, you know, I was like, I'm really disappointed that I haven't done it. Like everything else, yes, I would have done it, but it wasn't particularly my cup of tea. Like it was just kind of what everyone does on the East Coast, you know. So I booked it because I feel like you have to kind of do it, you know. It's like the cities. I'm not a city girl, but I feel like I can't come to Australia and not go to Sydney, you know. So it was one of those. So I wasn't too fussed. Obviously I still am disappointed that I couldn't do it. However, this one tour, oh my god, I'm so fucking excited. I'm so sorry that I'm swearing, but like I was so happy when they had availability for today. So we are going to the Cage of Death, which isn't filling me with the most confidence. However, it is a crocodile cage dive. Essentially you get into like a circular dome, so it's not like a cage like when you go cage diving with sharks or anything like that, but it's a circular dome. They lower you in with all the crocs, and yeah, oh, it's gonna be so exciting, and I'm so happy that I've like been able to book it. Obviously I had it already booked, but like beginning of April when I was supposed to like finish my trip, and they had it, so I rebooked it and we are doing that today, and I'm so getting excited. I told all my family, I messaged all of them and said like I'm so excited, and they were like, you're ending the trip on a high, like this was the one thing that you were really disappointed about missing out on, and I can finally do it. So enough of me waffling. I'm really sorry that I haven't been able to finish my trip, but you do have to put yourself first, and you've got to listen to your body sometimes. When it's telling you enough is enough, you need to listen to it and you need to go home. This isn't the end of my channel. It is literally the beginning, and yeah, I just feel like people need to know that it's okay. Like you're not quitting, you're not giving up. Like some things aren't meant to be, and I'm stubborn. I was born up north, I'm a woman, there is no way I'm not coming back to Australia. It's never gonna happen. So I will be back. This isn't the last of me in Australia, but I hope you really enjoyed this video, and I'm so glad that this is my last one and that I'm able to do it. So yeah, let's go swim with some crocs. believe I did that. That was the best thing I've ever done in my life, and I've jumped out of a plane and that was amazing. This was crazy. Oh my god, I actually can't believe it. Like, I was so fucking close to these crocs. Like, I've literally swam with crocodiles. Like, that is mad to me. Like, I've never ever heard of anything like it. Yeah, definitely a must do if you are in Darwin. Like, I could not recommend that anymore. So it cost $180. I don't know the conversion in my head, so I'm gonna pop something here that will tell you. So it's $180 for the dive. The photography, so I bought a photography package. Obviously I have to document this moment. Like, I wasn't sure that I could take my GoPro in. There was nothing, or at least I hadn't read anything on the website that stated whether or not you could take your own photography in, and usually if they charge people for photos and things like that, you can't take your own stuff in there. So I didn't know. I took it anyway, and I'm so fucking glad that they let me do it. So the photography, there is loads of different options that you can get. You can have 3 prints, 1 print, 2 prints. You can have all the photos on a disc and 3 prints, or you can have what I got, which was all of the photography, so up to 150 photos. I think I got something like 148, something like that, maybe even more. I'm not 100% sure, I haven't looked yet. And 3 prints. So I got, you pick your favorite 3, they print them off, you get them as like a print. So obviously I had to do that because that's going on my fucking bedroom wall. Like, I just swam with crocodiles. Like, what the heck? So the photography package was $115.95 in dollars, Australian dollars, obviously. Again, I will shove that there. So in total, with the fee that you have to pay, the credit card surcharge, it cost $304.29. I think that's a pretty decent deal. You are in the cage for about 15 minutes. I think I was in there longer, I'm not gonna lie to you. It felt a lot longer than 15 minutes. You don't get to choose what crocodile you go with. There are 3 that you can go with. I was so lucky and got to go in with 2 crocs. So it's William and Kate, you know, the royal family. I felt like that was very fitting considering I'm English. I really struggled, I'm not gonna lie, because I struggled with the holding my breath. Like, I don't know what I was doing, but I got sick photos, so I don't even care. Try not to swallow the water. I did that, and then I realised that's probably full of crocodile wee. So, I don't know, maybe it has health benefits. I'm gonna tell myself that because that's disgusting. Try not to do that. Don't even worry about it. It's like, she talked, you have a whole briefing before you go in, half an hour before you're actually put in the cage. Don't let the cage name put you off. Cage of Death isn't very promising, however it's so well like maintained. They've got 3 wires or something. I'm not going to explain it very well, so don't take my word for it, but there's 3 wires on it, and the cage can be held up by 1 wire, and that 1 wire can hold 3 of the crocs, like the big ones, like the big boys. So it's going to hold you. Even if all 3 of them break, the cage will float. You're not going to sink down to your death. Like, you're going to be fine, it will float. So there's literally nothing to worry about. Personally, they've never had any issues with it, so definitely not something that would put you off, really. So if you are in Darwin, definitely do it, because it was the best thing I've ever done in my life. Who can say they've swum with crocodiles? Not a lot of people. So definitely do it. Anyways, I've been rambling because I really don't want this video to come to an end, because this is my last video in Australia. I'll definitely have some sit down talking videos about my trip and how to plan it, etc. Let me know what you guys are kind of interested in and what you would like to know about my trip, and I will add it into a little video where I sit down and chat to you guys. So I fly home tomorrow. I'm so sad about it, but something that we've got to do. So I'm leaving on good terms. I feel good about it. I'm looking forward to being home, letting my sunburn heal. But this is not the end. I will definitely be back to Australia, and I just want to thank you all so much for watching all my videos. Like, it means a lot to me. Comments and everything with all your tips. Like, I'm seeing them all. I try my very best to reply to every single one of them, and I will definitely be using your recommendations when I do come back to Australia, and hopefully it won't be too long. So yeah, thank you again for watching. This isn't going to be the end. I will still be traveling. I have no idea where my next place will be. Thank you so much for following me along on my Australia journey. I've had the absolute best time, and if any of you are considering going, do it. Don't even bat an eyelid about it. Don't think twice. Go. You'll have the most amazing time. I definitely have. Just please be aware of the sun, because it is actually savage. People aren't joking. Thank you again. Bye.